All right, everybody, welcome back to the Angels Rebuild Series here on MLB The Show 25. We are heading to the 2028 season, and this team is looking to try to make some moves now and hopefully get over the hump of the wild card playoff series. We have a couple different things we have to take into account as far as exclusive free agents. We got to build up the staff to get it in the right spot. But the goal is to improve. So we're going to knock some of this stuff out and go from there. The first thing we want to check out, right, are some of these guys here, do we want to try to give them appropriate offers with about $49 million in budget? As far as what I see here, there's only a couple guys I'm willing to consider. Brock Burke, I'm willing to give this guy some cash here. He's looking about $5.2 million. If we try to give him a 2-year deal at 31 years old, I think that's a fair move right there, and hopefully he is willing to sign. The other player I'm looking to bring in is Jo Adell. Now, he's asking for quite a bit, and I'm wondering if we were to try to give him like a 4-year deal, could we offer him a little bit less? Maybe $14 million. That'll leave us with $31 million. But I have some ideas on some moves I'm willing to make. But with Jo Adell, he'll be 32 years old by the time the contract's done, and I think that's the big offer there. We have some cash to bring in other guys. Like, we could bring back Luis Rengifo. I just don't think he's got enough firepower to get us in the right spot. I think it's time to move on. Christian Moore, he's going to be the main starter there, and it's time to get the youth movement right activated at this point. Much as I'd like Rengifo, I think Cabrera could play all the positions there, and he's also a switch hitter, so that'll keep us going in that space. But we wish him the best. Will Vest, 32 years old, had a really good year with us, quite well, pitched very strongly for us, even had opportunities to get some. He was 10-4. At 32 years old, he's probably asking for like $7.2 million. I kind of want to move on and see what we can get somewhere else. That would give us an opportunity there to have maybe about $20 million left in cap space. But I think we got the relievers to get us in a good spot. Adrian Morejon as well, and Dubon. He is 33. It's time to find another setup there. As far as the staff is concerned, we need a pitching coach and a farm director, and we will talk through that after I make some decisions. So we'll check to see if the staff that we choose decides to sign with us. Jeremy Hefner has signed a 4-year deal with us. Love to see that. Stop simulating. No. So who did we get as far as the staff is concerned? So we picked up Jeremy Hefner, +3 reaction, +1 speed, +2 contact, and +4 control, and he only cost us $1.3 million a year. That was a steal in my opinion. As far as the pitching coaches are concerned, it looks like, we're looking at Rocco Baldini. Technically I could go for Anthony Cisneros. He's out there. But Rocco Baldini to me has, he's got the opportunity. He's just not as interested. Larry Bradford is the other pitching coach that I'm looking at too. So we'll see if they're willing to accept it. So we do have an opportunity for free agents. We're going to go ahead and work through that. Actually, this is what we'll do. We will take care of the free agents real quick, and then we'll talk about, and then after that, I'll work on the tender offers off. So the players I'm looking at right now, I'm trying to see if I can get Jo Adell to come to us and sign with us. Rhys Hoskins, he's a first baseman that's got a lot of power, and I really want him to just be there to go against lefties. We had that issue in the playoffs, and I think if we could bring in Rhys to just handle that, he'll get his playing time down to probably 126, 130 games a year at most. I think majority of the time we're going against righties, so hopefully Rhys will kind of be preserved and able to work there. And then we're looking at Alex Vesia based on my positional needs. So I want another reliever to help us out there, as we're a top 3 bullpen group, but I want to continue to grow that. We're looking at a third baseman and a left fielder. specifically around on base and power. So Reese to me fulfills one of the needs as far as getting on base and power. Joe Adele helps us with the outfield, and then Vesia gives us a big shot to really improve our relief space, because we need another lefty, and I'm hoping that can kind of work out there for us. I'm checking to see if we actually ended up getting any moves right here. It looks like everybody that I wanted to go for became a free agent, so we're gonna have to try to find a way to bring back Brock Burke in the relief spot there. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get through the arbitration stuff as well as the tender our contracts. So we ended up getting Larry Bradford as a pitching coach there for the next 3 years. I think that's a good move for us. We should be able to see our coaching contracts there. The Larry Bradford's got the control, the walks per nine, the break, and the pitching clutch. So I think that's going to help us out. We got him for a little bit less than $1 million, so gets some of the budget down there, which I can appreciate. Ooh, so we ended up releasing Nico Cavadas, and the White Sox pick came up, so he's off the waivers there. We'll take that. That removes a little bit of cap space for us. I think the tenders and everything are still on track. Sam Bachman's the only one that has not been granted a spot there, and I want to release him so we don't got to think about that. That just kind of removes some of the noise that we're dealing with. So we're looking at closing out the rest of the guys there. The arbitration aspect, I'm hoping Blaze and Kakanowicz accepted. We just got to wait on that one. We'll keep it rolling though. So it looks like the free agents are up here. Joe Adele is willing to sign now. It looks like Rhys Hoskins is available, and Vesia is also available. We have $27.32 million. So if we sign these three guys, that'll be very, very close. But we'll find out real quick. Let's just kind of work with it. Vesia looks like he's not as motivated, so we might have to wait on that. But let's make sure we get Adele here. It's a 2-year deal. I think if we can get him 3, because he's 28 years old, so get him at 31. I'm wondering if we could get 13.1. Hoping we can do that there. That's going to be a big one on that one. Rhys Hoskins, first baseman. Like I said, I just need him for that lefty. He is 34 years old. He's going to start to regress quite a bit this year, but I don't think that's a bad idea. See if we can get him for like maybe less than 8. Let's try that out. And then we'll wait on Vesia there. I think that's a good move for us. It is a position need. When you look at it, we'll kind of do that so it just kind of helps out there. But I think that's the move for us. It kind of keeps us rolling in that space. I'm hoping for the best on that one, man. We just got to hope that the contracts solidify, and we'll keep it rolling. So we released Sam Bachman. Looks like the Pirates take him off the waivers there. Not bad. All right, Rhys Hoskins is ready to make a decision. I'm trying to get signed elsewhere. You're succeeding. I'm less likely to sign with you now. If you're trying to get me to sign elsewhere, oh man. So he declined the offer there. Ooh, that's going to be rough for us. Contract decision for Joe Adele. He is an Angel, 3-year deal, $13.1 million. So we got the outfielder that we needed. That's big for us. We'll kind of keep it rolling there. Let's see what we got. We also got to set our 40-man roster as well, so we'll knock that out in a second. So Rhys Hoskins, right? He's saying, hey man, do you want me to sign with you or not? We'll be left with $4.44 million. If we can get him for maybe 8.5, I'll try that out. I think that's a fair move there. The signing will include a competitive balance task, will be deducted from your off-season budget. Wow. Okay. And then we got one more additional player. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some younger, like, prospect guys. right now, because there's some potential players here on the back end based on their age and stuff that we might be able to sign. So we got some player. We put Brock Burke back on the opportunity there, but this is where I want to make a move and try to see if we can get rid of some of these guys here. Drew Rasmussen is up. I'm wondering if we can get some other MLB ready players here. It's going to be tough to get him, but you know, again, it's about trying to get some other potential players here to kind of roll off our freaking roster. Trevor Steven and Alexis Mota there. For him, that would get us to $20.45 million. Trevor Steven is also a reliever that again kind of buffs up our bullpen there to just get it a little stronger. So that's not a bad situation in that space. If we were to make the move, because we got Joe Adell now, if we were to make the move and now go Taylor Ward, what would that do? What kind of major ready players could we get? And it looks to be like there's some guys here that we can snag up, like Brian Abreu is a reliever and Tyler Wells. That will get us to $25.93 million there. Marcelo Mayer looks like a very good player. He's a shortstop. He can play all the positions that we need, like a second baseman and a third baseman. He's a little younger. Just not sure if that would make sense there. Yankees, they would give us Lewis Gill. If we traded for Lewis Gill, that would solidify the starting line, like a rotation. The Yankees don't want him, which is insane to me. We can go after Trent Grisham, a center fielder there, and Clayton Beeter. But the Lewis Gill is so enticing for me. We get a starting pitcher that I know is going to be ridiculous for us. You got Gill, you got Woodruff, you have Shane Baz. Like, this would be a very, very good setup in that area. The Rays could also be a fun one because, again, that's a team that's kind of figuring out, but that Pete Alonso kind of snag right there, if we don't go after Rhys Hoskins, that could help us out. It's $11.3 million in cap space, but you're talking about getting a first baseman that could play against the lefties when we need. He could play designated hitter if something happens to Mike Trout. You're talking about Johnny DeLuca, again, an outfielder that can help us out. That's a big move there. I think there's some pretty good guys. Jonathan Clace right there, center fielder. We're just going to have to really dissect this and see where we're at with it. I don't think some of these guys make sense. The Lewis Gill would be insane. I think that's trying to drop a freaking bomb in our roster that would really kill our freaking ability to snag up anybody else. So it's a little scary, but you know, we'll kind of look at some of the options. So this is an interesting trade here. The Giants are looking to upgrade the reliever and a left fielder, and they're trying to give us a young prospect in Scott Maj, 23 years old, and Trevor McDonald. When you look at these guys, Scott Ma is between Luis Matos and Jung-Hoo Lee. Scott Ma may not get enough time out there. They got some good vets around him, so that could mean an opportunity for us to bring him in. That'll help us out with the outfield. Again, it's about trying to solidify these guys. And when you look at where he's at, you could potentially put Scott Ma down in the minor leagues and just kind of let him chill and bring him up when it's time to roll. So I wouldn't be upset about Scott Ma. The other one is Trevor McDonald. He's a starting pitcher. He's very low on their board here. Looks like he only played very minimal, but he has to play now. So if we bring in Trevor McDonald, that'll help us out. He could probably play in the long reliever. Again, it's about building up the bullpen and getting us in a good spot there. Him, George Clausen, Kakanowitz. You're going to get some guys here that can kind of help us out. And again, we'll get a chance to kind of build this team here. So Trevor McDonald looks like a good one. As much as I'd like to get Trevor McDonald, I think the fair move is to just go Scott Ma. I think that'll help us out in building up the youth. They get a left fielder that they like in Taylor Ward, because Taylor Ward can actually play right field as well, and it looks like they need the potential backup to Alec Burleson there. So they're going to have a very veteran setup there. As far as relievers are concerned too, you're talking about Rasmussen being the best one there. So I think that's a fair decision for us. It opens up the cap in our area. Looks like the Giants are really not spending a whole lot of money here. They're kind of being patient with their guys. But I think for us, that opens it up. Scott Moss probably going to need some money at 23 years old, but we might be able to get him for a decent deal. So like what I'm seeing there, Taylor Ward is gone, unfortunately. But with the addition of Joe Adell, coming back, Varsho's there. We acquired our right fielder, right, from the Lawrence Butler from the Athletics. That outfield is young, and I think that's going to prep us out, and I think that's a good decision there. So we make the decision. I wonder if we can. Ooh, we could just go Taylor Ward for Scott. Let me think about this. I gotta. We're gonna redo. I think we're gonna have to wait, folks. We're gonna have to see what we can do here. We've tendered all our offers and everything. We're gonna wait and see what we can do. Oh, that's what I had to do. Get the 40 man there. So we're at 30. So I'm gonna knock out this real quick. So we have 33 players on the active 40. We'll see what happens on the Rule 5 draft. Pablo Lopez signs a $29 million deal to the Mets for 1 year. Mets trying to just get that going there. Ryan Helsley going to the Orioles. Leaves the Rangers. Takes a $43.3 million deal for 3 years. What a snag right there. Nope. So we're going to continue to work through it. Try to sign those guys. We'll see what happens there. Shane McClanahan goes to the Phillies. 7-year, $214 million deal. Insane. And Rhys Hoskins, let's see if he's willing to come. And he does. So we get the first baseman that I want right there. Big move for us. Logan Gilbert, 8-year, $261.9 million deal to the Yankees. Now, knowing that, right, there is a chance that we can actually make the move and go after a big player here. And I think if we go for Taylor Ward, there's going to be an offer out there from the Yankees. And they're not going to give it to us. Ooh. I thought it was going to be Lewis Gill, but I guess not. So it looks like the Yankees, they still haven't offered him something. If we were to trade, he hasn't signed it, so we can't do anything with him. I mean, you could go after someone like Garrett Cole, but he is quickly regressing there. So Max Fried, he was another guy that was out there, 34 years old. He was having an incredible year, but if we do that, that will drop our salary down to $21.65 million. Or excuse me, we'd be over budget. So tough right there, man. I thought we would find somebody for a trade. Scott Moss still continues to pop up for me as a potential guy. I just don't know if that's a fair move for them. Yuki Matsui would be a pretty good lefty there, along with Henry Baez from the Padres. That would give us about $20.35 million. So that would open it up with the Padres. Let's check out the Padres real quick. So Yuki Matsui is their best guy there. 5 point. He's on the last year of his contract. 32 years old. I mean, he had a not so great year last year. That could work out. And then what else were they trying to give me? They were trying to give me Yuki Matsui. I mean, Jacob Gonzalez. The shortstop there. How far is he down? So he's down the list there because they got Leo DeVries, ridiculous prospect. So Jacob is like never gonna have a chance there. Very durable guy. He's up for renewal. I think this would give us some freedom there. His fielding is pretty solid. 25 years old. He could play second base. I mean, that's not a bad move there, but the Padres aren't really giving us much. Henry Baez, that's the guy I was looking at. So starting pitcher, Henry Baez. He's 25 years old. He's a youngster. He's on $780,000 in cap. You can put him down in the minors as well. He's got some room to grow out of the Dominican Republic, not drafted. That could be the move there. So we get him and Yuki. I think that would free up some space there. We get a lefty. That's what I wanted. Another lefty potential bullpen cat. They need a left fielder, I believe, because they got Jake Browers there, who is all right. And then they got Austin Hayes again, all right. So you get someone like Taylor Ward, that opens that up. They got Jackson Merrill on one end and Fernando Tatis on the other. So that would give them some more rotation capabilities because everyone else behind them is trash. So they get that part. And then the reliever, pretty much, he's better than Jeremiah Estrada. So that helps him out there. I think this is the move. We get Henry Baez, potential guy that we can kind of move up, put him in the minors for a year, let him train there, and then Yuki Matsui is a reliever, lefty that we need. I wanted to build up more lefties in the bullpen. We'll take that. We wish them the best. Taylor Ward is heading to the Padres. So that freed up the cash that we needed right there. Big situation for us, man. Huge capabilities now. We'll still have, what is that, 30, what is that, 31, 34 players there. I think that helps us out, and we'll kind of keep it rolling here. We're in the free agent setup now. Let's see what we got. So Brock Burke, Vesia now. He looks like he's a little more encouraged. That we have 20.5. So if we go him, that's a little more 9, and then you got Brock Burke there. I think with as much as I would love to have Vesia, we got Yuki Matsui now. Do we really need Vesia? I don't know. I'm gonna probably move him down to a lower priority there, but let's see who else is out there. There's still some pretty good guys. It's just when you look at the numbers, 5.8, so 6 plus 9 is 15. We would have to look at a potential prospect that's closer to the 5s. And I don't think we're going to have that, but I'll look around. So I want to go after Jose Alvarado more than I do want to go for Vesia. I just don't see that being a big priority for us. I think Brock Burke, we could probably sign him now. He's not asking for a whole lot, but I'm wondering if we were to give him a 2-year deal, what would that look like? He's 31 years old, so maybe if we give him a 2-year deal, and I'm wondering if I can give him like maybe 5.5. We'll try. We'll try to see what we can do with that. But Alvarado over Vesia is who I'd like to potentially do there. It's really nice to grab someone like Rhys Hoskins and Joe Adell. There's some other big guys right there. Now, one of the hang-ups right now has a lot to do with the Mike Trout contract, so it's going to take a little bit. Brock Burke is making a decision, and he is back with the Angels. Love to see that. He's been an Angel for quite some time. William Contreras, he's building him out. $86.4 million for the Padres there. So they took our 2 guys. They bring in another vet. I think that helps them out. All players must have contracts tendered by the 2nd. It's fine. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if the free agents want to do business with us. Oh, look at this. Joe Ross. He seems like he'd be a good fit. He's a reliever. So Joe Ross, he's got the velocity. He's 34 years old. He's asking for a $3.1 million contract. I mean, last year he did, like, his ERA is screaming not great. I'd say not interested at this time. And we'll kind of go from there. Jose Alvarado is up. He's asking for $7.1 million. I'd like to see if maybe we can get him less than 7 there. That'll give us $8 million to make a decision. As much as I like Vesia, we will probably remove him off the board. This is a big deal right here. Getting Jose Alvarado could mean quite a bit for us. $8 million contract. I don't know if there is... I mean, we got our first baseman in Rhys Hoskins, right? Now I need to figure out, can we get the third baseman that can back us up? The issue is the kind of money that we're looking for may not be available. Now you got someone like Josh Rojas, who's got a decent bat, and he's pretty good in fielding, but I don't know if that's going to help us out there. Chimera Candelario, he looks like he's more of a DH guy, but he's got a freaking, he's a pull hitter. Those powers there. You got Bobby Delbeck, Matthew Bet. Yeah, see, now we're in the spot of all hell breaking loose there. So, not sure if that's going to be the right fit. I mean, you got other guys, like, we could try to see if we can bring back Rengifo, but he doesn't fit what we want. He's not power or anything. Alex Bregman, this is another guy that had a shot with the Red Sox and they let him go. Luis Garcia, he's got some decent hitting ability, but that's not, again, screaming incredible. Jeremy Pena is only 33. Trey Sweeney's out there. So he's asking for $4 million. What I like about Trey Sweeney is he can play third base. He's a decent fielder. He had a very good year last year. This could be the Blaze Blaze possibility there. I like Trey. Orlando Arcia looks pretty good too at 33, but I think Trey at 27 could be very interesting there. Could help us out in that space. And I am willing to try to bring him along. I don't think we can trade anyone crazy right now. I think we're going to have to keep everyone along here. So Adley Rutschman, the Phillies are reloading, retooling, 3-year, $57.4 million deal. That is disgusting. Jose Alvarado here to make a choice, and he is heading to the Angels. 39th ranked free agent. Not a big free agent, but that's okay. I'm pretty happy about that. Mackenzie Gore, 6-year, $157.8 million going to the A's. Jordan Hicks going to the Royals there. 4-year, $107.1 million contract. I think that's a good move. So we have 94 players here. I got to go back real quick and kind of see who I'd like to let go. Just check to see if there's anybody here that's on my single A. Wayner Luciano. Don't know who that is. We're going to go ahead and release him. It says it's fine. We're paying 45. Not the end of the world there. Nathan Webb was drafted in 2016. We're going to go ahead and release him. Kind of make some room there. So we're good to go. Let's see what the free agent situation's talking about. We got one more, Trey Sweeney. Like I said, he's only asking for a little bit. That gives about $3.16 million available this season. If we can get him for a little bit less, 3.5 for 2 years. I mean, how old is he? He's 27. Get him for a 3-year deal for very cheap. You know, again, it's about having some of these like Swiss Army knife type players there. Will include a competitive balance tax deducted off your off-season budget. Okay, because we went a little bit lower there. So that's what we got so far. Winter meeting's up. Let's check out who gets it done. So we were, again, not in it. We're pick number 20. Marlins are up there, it looks like, as a potential number 1 overall pick. I'm wondering how they're going to make this work now. So looks like it's Marlins, Astros, and Cardinals. Athletics, they stay. White Sox move up 2 spots. Rockies drop down a spot to 6, and Rays at 7. So interesting, man. We could have been in the lottery there. Yankees were in the lottery, which is kind of nuts. A small percentage, but still in the lottery nonetheless. Incredible. So we'll pick number 20. Kind of keep it rolling there. Trey Sweeney up to make a decision. My phone must be it's showing your offer is a joke. Wow. Rule 5 draft is here. And it looks like Jordan Adams got picked up. Sabato, Julian Aguilar. If we were to pick a player who is out there, I don't think anyone is super duper amazing. So we're just going to go ahead and skip the selection. Really don't see myself messing with the rounds because we just don't need to. We're out of that. So I guess he is upset with us. We'll go a 3-year, $3.6 million, and we'll see if Sweeney wants to come over to us. I think that's a good decision on our end. We'll keep it rolling. Sweeney making a decision. Welcome to the team. So we got Trey Sweeney for a 3-year, $3.6 million deal. Again, these are guys that we can just kind of throw in, and the hope is that they will kind of work through it here. What the heck's going on with this? Oh, shoot. There you go. Okay. So the hope is that that'll work out there. I think that's a good move there. So where are we at now? Let's double check our roster real quick. We're at 37. So we have 37 players. I mean, is there anybody else on the roster that we could make a decision on here? I don't think so. You know, when we look at our salary, yeah, Christian Yelich is the only one. He's a Brewer, 36 years old. Golly. But I'm thinking on our end, should be able to see our salaries, right? Our budget. So we are like right on the money there with our budget. If there's anybody we could have made a move on, like Brandon Woodruff or something like that, I would. I just got to double check to see where we stand right now as far as the rotation and stuff, because we're going to have to set up our 40 real soon. 30, 37. So I need to look at one more, or 3 more. We'll kind of do that on my end. Okay, so I think we're done. Justin Steele, 3-year, $90 million deal to the Tigers. I don't know if we really want to pick up another free agent. Looks this. Oh, wow. Reaching out in regard to Ciano Perez. Feels like he'd be a good organizational fit here. He's a reliever. I mean, 4.28 ERA. I don't know how much room I would have for Ciano Perez because of the amount of pitchers that I got. So we're going to say not interested there. We have $2.84 million in cap space. There really isn't much for us. As much as I would love to bring another guy along, I just don't see it. Let me do this real quick, because if I look at like where we're at from a lineup perspective. All right, so we made sure to set up our 40-man roster there. I don't think there's really any free agents we'd like to do, right? We got $2.84 million. The only way I could see this working out is if we made a trade, right? We got Shane Baz there. Shane's our main guy. But if we were to trade him, where could we do it, right? We could, again, make some room, go straight up and try to just continue to improve our guys. and just say, hey man, you know, we'll take 2 players for 1. The Yankees are trying to give us a center fielder and Clayton Beater and just say, hey, maybe that'll work out. Blue Jays trying to give us some guys. We can get Kai Bush back from the freaking White Sox after that one wild trade during Ohtani's time here. But there really isn't anybody else that I am super pumped about. So as much as I would love to make some moves here and bring in another guy, I just think that we're going to have to stay put and no free agents, and we will go ahead and sim to arbitration hearings. Felix Bautista heading it to the Orioles. I think he's always been an Orioles, so they keep him there. Cheap. Oh, not bad. 59.8 million. 6'8". I didn't realize how big that guy was. Holy hell. We're just going to keep it going here. So I don't necessarily think we made like super big off-season moves. I think we just made sure that we prep for the potential injuries, and we'll get a chance to really kind of knock back some big opportunities on the you know, some of the youth there. Now what I'd like to do here is in the center field spot, you got Varsho and Adele. I think what I'd like to do is move Adele, edit him, have him play more left field as his primary position. So kind of switch it up there. So Adele will be the main guy there. I think that's going to help us out. Technically, Jack Charles can come up and do his thing, but we're going to let him kind of chill in the single A along with him, Uribe. And then when it's time to roll, we'll get it ready to go. But I'm excited for Adele. I think he can play pretty solid for us. Varsho continues to be that dog. To go up plus 11 last season lets you know how strong this guy could be. 31 home runs as well. He's a big chunk of our team. Now with Trout there too. Trout has dropped dramatically, but his power is still there against righties. His contacts there are still against lefties. And this outfield looks a little depleted because we focused on the outfield. But when you look at some of the players that we have in the lineup right there, you got Blaze, who could play the infield, Cabrera, who could play the outfield. That gives us some flexibility there. Sweeney can continue to play the infield there. So we got some really good players, some youth in there. Eventually, we're going to have to make a choice, like, what do we really want, right? If we were to trade someone like Trout, who basically is the face of this team, how would this become? It would be very hard. I think we're going to have to think about guys like Logan O'Hoppe down the road. But as of now, I'm honestly okay. I think we got a really good group of guys, and let's see here. Sim to this point there. Today is last chance to offer. No. So tomorrow's the last day. Renew contracts. No. So spring training is 1 day away. Let's make sure all our roster is set. It looks like we got everyone we wanted, right? We're going to head to spring training now. We will sim that. And that is where we will leave it, folks. So preseason is not really something for me. I think what I'm going to do on mine is maybe just practice a little bit with them. We got a ton of pitchers that are going to get out there and kind of work through it. Michael Crosby being one of them. It's going to take him some time out there. I'm excited for players like J.R. Sizemore getting an opportunity to pitch during the preseason spring training kind of deal, but we're not really too honed in on that. I might even just skip it, to be frank. I want to get to the regular season. We got a lot of good players, got a lot of awesome potential here, and I am excited for what is to come, man. Let's hope we can get it done here. We got some really interesting guys, man, that can rock through it. It's gonna take a whole lot of work here, but against righties there. better against, yeah. So we're going to work through this on our end. Looking forward to the next season, folks. You know, here's to see what can happen. There's quite a bit of players that are available out there, but I don't think we have any room to make any decisions. Cabrera could be a guy, right? Try to sign in for a little bit, but with the other guys, Cabrera could be out. And we could be okay with that. That'll do it for us, everybody. If you like what you saw, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and most importantly, subscribe to keep up with the series. I am really excited for the next season. I am hoping for a big change there for the Angels. And let's see if 2028 is our year. Have yourself a good one, and as always, let's go Angels.